We often think about meditation as a practice, and we make it so constructed to the point to where we actually miss the point of what it's actually trying to present to us and what is it trying to reveal within ourselves to reveal what's outside of ourselves. And the biggest analogy or metaphor I can have for that is carrying a sandcastle into the ocean. You create this friction because you're trying to hold on to concepts that are meant to be let go when you actually jump into the essence of life. And that's why I say meditation it's not just a practice, it's the state of being, the state of mind, the state of awareness that you're in, because there's infinite layers of essence around us. And the integrity of everything, it reveals itself through our experience. Like this grass has an integrity to its essence to the point to where it's grass for us. It's something that we can walk upon. It's something that grows innately. It's natural. The integrity of this bracelet, it resonates at its own frequency, at its own pace, at its own purpose. So when we say we're going into a meditative state, are you still holding on to the constructs of the things that you're actually meant to let go when you're actually going into that state and actually trying to witness the essence of what is around you? And I think this is what scares a lot of us when we enter this state is the dissolving. You're seeing the sand slip through your hands and you try to grip it harder and harder and harder and harder. And this is why it's always a gradual process when we do start to meditate, is because of the fact that we realize that we can't hold on to it. And this is why we always hear, let go, let go, let go, let go. And oftentimes we kind of like ego modify this letting go process. You think, well, I'll let go of this, but I'm definitely not going to let go of that. I'm going to let go of this identity, but I'm still going to hold on to this identity. But you can never understand the depths within yourself. See, there's infinite layers of you to relax into. And that's the most important thing about when you are trying to be in a meditative space, is that there's no limit to the compassion that you can dive into yourself. Like, think about it. Upon each inhale and exhale, you can actually relax further and further and further. What is the end game of that? There's no end game to how far you can relax, how far you can actually embody the essence around you from just simply soaking in it within yourself. And this is what I really want people to understand is, so when you walk into that ocean, how deep is the ocean? You never know. You never know. But the substance that you're trying to hold together and you get afraid that it's slipping out of your grips, that's the very, very bottom of that ocean. And there's so much more ocean, so much vastness to explore. And once you find that within yourself, life itself opens up in a new realm. And this is why I say it's a state of being and a state of awareness and a state of mind, because then all of a sudden life itself starts to reveal its own essence. And you see where everything actually is in its actual purpose and the passion that exudes from everything that you are experiencing. And you meet it where it's supposed to be met. And that's when you understand that when you dive in the blessing of you, then you understand what bliss really is. You know, we think it's like this profound thing that you continuously have to do. It's just honestly a surrendering to the ultimate power, which is love. And once you surrender to love, it's like the universe put its own defense mechanism in that the only way that you can wield true power is actually surrendering to the whole and its progression and its expansion and your inclusive nature to everything. So if you want to meditate, you have to allow yourself to sink into that place, because you're only setting in peace to rise in power. And that's what the sun does. The sun shows us every day. It literally sets into the vastness of the ocean. It does not hold anything around it. It literally takes its natural orbit, sets in peace, but also for another person, it's rising empowered. And that's what you have to understand about your soul. There's infinite layers before you get to sleep. And meditation shows us how deep that is. See, usually when we run amok in life and we have all these conditions controlling us and we're suffering and we're worrying and we're always, you know, kind of projected into these different simulations of what you need to be focused on, we forget the vastness between that rising and that setting. And when we sleep, we get into this vast realm of imagination and depth and experience, and we don't see that within the very life that we're actually living right now. To actually witness the seamless dream that we're experiencing, not just individually, but together, you know what I mean? You have to honor the essence that makes us both unique and universal. And that's what happens when you're in a dream. You just simply, you go into the dreams with the constructs that you've actually created in this present life. And that's how you create a nightmare. Because think about it, in that dream realm, anything is possible. And you understand the nightmare is never overpowering the dream, because the dream is literally the foundation of any nightmare, which means that all the things that we go through in life in a meditative state, you start to realize that it's really not, it doesn't hold a power over you at all. It holds no power over you. The dream, that which you can literally be lucid with and very vivid with how you want to experience it and project upon it. It's a canvas. You know, you have to understand that you're both the creator, the creative, and the creation. And when you understand that and you come to a nice culmination of that, you start to cultivate a life that is totally different. It's more essence guided than anything. You actually start to see how cars are not the only vehicles. You know, the cultures that we create are vehicles and vessels for the essence that we use to guide each other, you know? So how are you allowing yourself to be guided by the essence of you? Are you wearing your soul? Are you sharing your soul? Are you empowered by being your soul? See, this is what we signed up for when we came here, is to be our soul through this experience. Not to be defined by this experience and negate against the soul. That's conflict. That's the wrong type of contrast, because that's not really contrast in the sense that you're giving up and compromising something that was actually meant to flood into this atmosphere, into this fullness of experience, you know? And there's no, in a meditative state, there's no enemy to kindness. And you understand what you mean by kindness. You start to see that we're all one kind. Now, this may come in variations of different contrasts, but that kind, there's deeper layers to kind. There's humankind, but there's also soul kind. There's universal kind, you know? So you have to understand, the deeper you go within yourself, you're going to dissolve so many layers of the things that you really believed about yourself or were taught about yourself. And my biggest thing is, you have to allow your dream to be more powerful than the nightmare that others try to put upon you or project upon you. Because oftentimes we're born into a life where the nightmare is kind of cultivated around us and we're thrusted into it. And it becomes our very existence, and our essence is our very baseline. It's basically just the little notch on your heart meter, boom, boom. You know, EKG read, and it's just the baseline for you. And it's not the actual melody that you're actually painting into this life, that you're actually enjoying around you. You're not actually flowing in the rhythm because you're not really understanding the inspiration of your breath, you know? When you meditate, you understand, like when you really just enjoy the essence of what's around you, you realize how rich you really are, how abundant you really are, how whole you really are. See, the same thing about carrying that sand, think about it. Like I said, the ego is very tricky. So if you see that the sand is falling apart, you're going to encase it in something. So we develop a structure around it. So now you're carrying a sandbag into the depths of the ocean of your soul. And that's not the best place to go, because now you're jumping into the vastness of all that is, yet you're submerged into the darkest parts of it because you are still not willing. That's the void you create. Encapsulating something that you're supposed to let go and something that's supposed to be fluid creates void within. So that sandbag is that void that you carry, and that void actually allows you to sink rather than to actually surrender to it, float, explore that vastness with freedom, and eventually to embody the essence of that ocean to be the wave that you're meant to be. You know, like I say, one step into the ocean, you are the horizon. Understand that. One genuine and surrendering step into the ocean, dropping all that you are holding on to, you become the horizon. Do you understand the significance of that? Do you understand the power in that? That which you thought was so far away from you is so near when you genuinely surrender with an integrity to the essence of all that is, you become the ocean. You become the sun that rises from the ocean. You're no longer in competition with people. You're in your orbit. You naturally flow through life. You find yourself floating a few inches above the ground, and things around you happen, and you start to wield the power, and you take accountability for the power that you're actually projecting out. You understand what you're cultivating within is ultimately creating everything around you. So then you stop wasting time on holding up discriminations and judgments about the things around you, because you've let that go within yourself, and you actually witness and honor everything that is flowing through you and to you, and that's what you call the present.